we've after 3 weeks of camp, I think the team, the culture, there's a belief in special teams. The coaches have done an excellent job. I believe that people are going to follow your actions and not your advice, so we can coach them and talk scheme all the time, but unless there's some belief and some action behind that from the coaches, the players aren't going to follow, but the coaches have done an amazing job at that. And so we've taken some strides from last year just in terms of buy-in and guys wanting to be a part of it and taking pride in that. So my point of view, it's the iron sharpens iron deal, and just having guys in the room that, one, want to compete, and us giving them the environment to compete. I think it's easy to bring guys in and kind of put them up on the trophy case and say, talk about what they've done at previous places, but perfect example is the punt room. And so we have Ben Banks, who's come in from Lehigh, competing against Cade Cox, who's been here, and both of them have done an excellent job, and it's going to be tough to keep them both off the field this year. And so they'll compete for this last week of camp, and then really throughout the season. I wouldn't anticipate any of those guys taking a back seat to the other. From a kickoff standpoint, we brought in Rory Bell, and the incumbent was Angelo Giannetti, who's done an amazing job. And those two will continue to compete as well throughout the season. I think up until those first 4 preseason games, we'll have a starter, obviously, for each game, but having those guys compete is going to be huge. And then from the field goal standpoint, Rory Bell and Hunter Ridley. Hunter Ridley is a preseason all-conference guy and has done a great job and was rewarded because of that. But in the same token, he's been pushed by Rory. And so we'll have starters for each game, but each of those guys know that in the room there's no job that's going to be too safe that you can show up to practice and relax. And so it's a matter of iron sharpens iron and guys competing. The things we emphasize for that to happen or are these two sayings, two sentences really, is champions take pride in the mundane. And so we have these circuit drills or our daily steam is what we call it. We're trying to raise our steam, our temperature by 1 degree every day. And so we'll have a 1 degree player of the day, and it could be a starter on offense or defense, or it can be a second or third string guy. And so at the end of the day, we talk about bringing value. And to do that, there are some guys who know that special teams might just be a dessert. They're just going to get a small portion of it, and then there's other guys who know that's their Thanksgiving dinner. And so I think if you can present it to guys in that way and like say, hey, this is going to be your impact, and this is how you're going to bring value to our football team, that's one way to get a guy excited about taking the field. And then for our starters, offense and defensively, who are on special teams, it's hey, this drive didn't go the way I wanted it to, so here's my chance to give back on the punt team. Or if it's the other way around, defensively, we get a stop. Hey, it's not over. This fourth play, this fourth down, this punt return is I'm just as excited about it as that first down to defense. And so I think just taking pride in the mundane, taking pride in the little things, and just harping on them that everything's a detail. Everything's big. Coach Plow has done an amazing job at making it an emphasis, special teams. And so each scrimmage that we've had, we'll start the game with KOR and then come back at the halftime of the scrimmage and start it with kickoff. And we'll spend a ton of time. One of our goals is win the battle of field position. And just taking that into account, where the offense starts their drive versus where the defense starts their drive, and how that will impact the game. Understanding how kickoff can do that and be an emphasis for your defense, and then vice versa, the offense is going to be impacted by KOR. And those guys taking pride in our goal of winning the field position is a big deal. And so, there's a ton of emphasis on it, of starting the game either on kickoff or kick return, because that's one of our main goals, is to win the battle of field position. We were 5-0 last year when we won the battle of field position, when our offense started with better field position than their offense, and then when our defense started in better field position. And so you take those two things where you start, and you can add in penalties and how that impacts yardage as well, and those are lost yardage there. You can add in punt returns when the ball's hitting the ground, catching every punt. And so, we take a ton of pride in looking into that each game and saying, hey, we should be able to limit the amount of field position lost, and we should be able to gain in these areas. So, it's important for us.